Welcome back, guys. This is the Bulkhead and Parcel Shelf build video. Said I wasn't going to be getting a lot done over the Christmas period work wise, so thought I would catch up on any editing that I have to do. Not going to be up to much at the moment. I've caught the Christmas lurgy. Hope everybody had a good Christmas, by the way. Yeah, so I've got man flu at the moment. Jen doesn't seem to think there's much wrong with it, but for all you men out there, you'll know how severe man flu really can get, and I've got a bad dose of it right now. So this is the Bulkhead and Parcel Shelf build. Decided to close off the driver and passenger seat from our rear living quarters. Most people looked at us like I had three eyes when I told them I was going to do this, but everybody wanted something different from their conversion. A lot of people said, what, so you're going to have to get out and into the side of your van when it's raining? Not really a big deal for me, maybe it's more so for Jen, but it is what it is. Basically, if we decided to do it a different way, it was going to compromise what wall space we could utilise, and the bulkhead is where our kitchen units and everything are going to be sat. So this is how we've decided to do ours, and this is how we want it. So if you want yours the same way and want to utilise as much wall space as possible, check this video out and hopefully it helps. Check out. That's the back of it. I'm actually very happy with how it's turned out. Come in the front, all the back's carpeted, nice and neat up the seams. That's a shelf unit at the back. Just a quick update, didn't get it all on video, it's a bit of trial and error, but this is the shelf that is going to be going above the passenger and driver seats. Basically cut the corners out by using a bit of card and just scribing it with the profile gauge. Then I use the profile gauge to scribe round the pillars here as well, so them are all cut in, scribed nicely. So I've got some paint here to use on my house. Basically it turns out, it says cool slate, but it turns out more of a dark grey, which will match the smoke carpet lining that I've ordered to put round the shelf and on some of the pillars of the van. So let's get our paint on. Let's get our artistic side out. Welcome back, gang. Yesterday I made the shelf for above the passenger seat and driver seat. I made a card template with the corners and used the profile gauge to scribe around these profiles here. But I did have the shelf in and out 4 or 5 times and just nipping a little bit off, and it's just a case of persevering with it. Should fit quite nicely. So I'll show you a close-up of what I've got here. Where I painted it yesterday, last night with the help of Jen, I put this carpet liner on the other side and wrapped it round. It was a bit late, so I didn't get a video of that, but it's pretty easy to do. Just use your trim fix. And I've got some blocks here which I have cut at a 30-degree angle with the jigsaw just to match the headliner. Them are all fixed around the outsides, and I've got some wood screws ready to fix through the fiberglass cast there at the top. So let's see how this fits in. Right, the blocks are actually getting in the way a bit at the moment, so going to have to be sat back a little bit, so I'm just going to change them round. Change them round. So just all I've done is taken these blocks back about 5mm, so let's see.
needs changing a little bit. You want to be able to see, but the two middle blocks were fine, but the two main blocks were still stopping it, so I'm going to pull them back another 5mm. So that's the shelf in place. Bit of inny outy, but it's in. Carpet is looking nice. See, it's all scribed into the corner and scribed around this pillar here. That just needs fastening to the batten here and the rest of the bulkhead to build back in. Happy with that. Quite a bit extra space up there. We on a roll, people. Yeah.
So this is the start of the bulkhead build. First of all, measured the depth of the floor which I installed. I then marked that on the old bulkhead, and that's where I will clamp off the sheet of ply. And then once the sheet of ply is clamped off, put a pencil line on there. So the old bulkhead that I took out, that was originally in the van, was a little bit bent and damaged when I came back to use it. So these pencil lines weren't exactly straight, but this ply that is going to be going on the back of the bulkhead, it doesn't need to be deadly accurate. It just needs to be accurate enough to cover all the sides, so there's going to be no gaps from the cab side. As you can see what I'm doing here, couldn't get a pencil line all the way, so I just used a batten to finish up any missing parts, and then got my jigsaw to make the cut. So once I'd finished up with both cuts, I put a mark where the plywood finished. As you can see, one piece of plywood didn't cover the whole bulkhead, and you're going to have to join that up, so these marks will just allow you to know where the next bit of plywood needs to sit. Then sat the cut bit of plywood in place. As you can see, the ply doesn't need to be that accurate, it just needs to be overlapping the white pillar bits at each side. I then screwed a batten onto the bottom. Once I'd screwed that batten on, I used another batten to line up where the next bit of ply had gone. I was using some scrap bits of ply, or the plywood that I had left without cutting into another sheet, so I just pieced these in. Once all these bits were cut, I got on joining them together, so I screwed a batten halfway
at the halfway point on the side of the ply. I then marked where the other pieces needed to sit and fixed them with some wood screws. And then once that was done, I sat the bulkhead in place. When the bulkhead was in place that time, just put a little mark along the top what I needed to plane off, and then the wood screws that were poking through the front, I just ground the end of the screws off so there was nothing sharp sticking out there. As you can see what I'm doing here, now the bulkhead is in place, I'm just fixing a frame up to the back of the bulkhead. I'm not piecing in the whole back of the bulkhead, but this is just enough for when the carpet is wrapped around the bulkhead, so it's wrapped around some form of framework. As you can see, I'm just planing off that pencil line that I made earlier, as this top batten needs to be clear, as this is where the parcel shelf is going to be sitting on top of and going to be fixed to. And when all the framework is on there, I flipped the bulkhead over and fixed all the way along each of the battens with small wood screws. Then it was ready to carpet the front of it, so drafted in the help of my dad here, thanks to him for the help, and basically cut the carpet to size. Use heavy duty adhesive on both surfaces and just make sure all the carpet was nice and tight when you were pressing this down. You really need 2 people for this job. So once it was all flat on the front there, just went round and cut the excess off. Once all the excess is off, basically flipped it over and folded the excess carpet around the back of the frame. And then we got it in the van, coming together. So this is quite an important bit for the bulkhead build. Pay attention to where the cut goes here, and it goes angled off the white metal at the side. So basically you want to be able to push the bulkhead up to the cast, and that'll stop any gaps from the front side, and then from the back you can get a fixing into the metal work, and that'll close everything up from the front, make sure that you've got no gaps at all there. And then once everything's in there, you put the shelf unit in and just crack on putting the extra battens and supporting in, and that's pretty much it. So once all your battens and wiring are in place and your wires are fixed up to the battens, you can insulate the inside of the bulkhead with 25mm Kingspan. Then once you've done that, you want to apply whatever millimeter plywood that you want to the other side of the bulkhead. I'll be doing this at a later date. I'm going to be using 9mm ply. This is an ample thickness to get a good fixing into. See our blue making a little cameo appearance in the background there. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the bulkhead. I'll be piecing in the gaps on future videos on how I've seated the kitchen units etc. on the front, but apart from that, that's it.
So that's the bulkhead build complete. It took us a while to get this on here. I did want to put the parcel shelf and the bulkhead together, and I've been pulling wiring and stuff through there. You can half see how I've went about doing that. So thanks for watching. As always, the support is appreciated. We're going to be drawing on the knowledge of the viewers soon enough, as there's things that me and Jen need to know as well for when we go away. So that was the whole point in making the build series, and our social media pages in the first place, so we can meet some like-minded people when we're traveling. We are going to be stopping in our van next to a ski resort. It's going to be sub-zero temperatures, so we want to know if anybody's had any experience doing that themselves. And yeah, apart from that, thanks for watching. Follow our new Instagram page, No Strife Van Life. Jen's sorting that out. We're uploading as regular as we can, and we're usually ahead of the YouTube videos, as it takes me a little while to get these edited. What else? Much love, and hope everybody's had a Merry Christmas. Have a swanky New Year, and chill your bean, and take care of yourselves. Cheers.